What a perfect time to have a story of the Good Shepherd, the story of abundant life. This is my favorite section of John's gospel. Well, maybe the exception of the first chapter. I really like the first chapter as well. But this is my favorite because it talks about how Jesus has asked us and asks us to continue to have an abundant life. Not just something that we make do, not just something that we survive, but to have a flourishing, thriving, vibrant life. I don't know about you, but right now it feels like I'm just surviving. It feels that way because it takes so much effort to even go to the grocery store, to don my gloves and my mask and all of the alcohol wipes that go with it, and all the concern about germs and staying 5 feet away from everyone you encounter. It's quite a harrowing task every time I leave the house door. And so when I hear this message about Jesus providing a space, a door, a gate that we could be free in and not have to worry about these things and to have a vibrant and thriving life, it's the message I need to hear. You see, was talking to this is a story from the Gospel of John. John was written several years after Jesus had died. John's Gospel is it has a lot of, it's a poetic gospel. I always like to call it the beat poet of all the gospelers. And the circumstances under John's community was quite difficult. The chapter that precedes this story is the story of a man who has been born blind, and the threat of those who confess as Jesus is the Messiah to be expelled from the synagogue. Jesus heals that man, and this whole story becomes a dramatic unfolding of John's people being expelled from the synagogue. People believe, some scholars actually believe, that this is what happened. And so in this part of the gospel, a reflection written many years afterwards was written by a community who was completely thrown out from their own community. So they were adrift, uprooted in a threatening world. Not only was the religion, the Christian religion, not only was their Jewish heritage and their Jewish roots not held in great esteem by the ruling power, the Christian church as well. So it felt as though they were isolated from an isolated community already. So if you can imagine being even thrown into more isolation and chaos. And so this is a story for a community that's really adrift, really feeling isolated, that they are called to live an abundant life, and that God will hold them no matter what. God will hold them in a space where they can have that abundant life. This is a story not only written for people a long time ago, I feel like it's a story written for us. How can we live into this space of seeing abundant life that is truly around us when we're trapped in our own homes? It's a hard one. Some days I feel like some days it's been really, really hard and I can't even see the sunlight that's out there. But other days I hear the doves that are making their nests on my patio. Other days I see the flowers that are blooming. Other days I smell the roses. Other days I see the opportunity I've had in this time to break bread with my husband every single day. I'm inspired by St. John's the community of St. John, the community that wrote John's Gospel, because they clearly believed in this abundant life and lived into it. I'm also inspired by St. John the Cross. He was a monk from a long time ago, and his brothers, for various reasons, which I won't get into, locked him into a cage, a little teeny tiny room for over a year where there was no light, and fed him very bare meals throughout the entire year. Now, what did this man of deep faith do when he was trapped into a dark closet for over a year? He wrote the most beautiful poetry. He wrote something called the Spiritual Canticle, where he talks about seeking God in the light, in the hillsides, in the nature, the beauty of nature, in the beauty of music. He wrote incredible poetry. If someone who can be trapped in a little space with no light can write poetry and see God's abundance in even that, surely we can see abundance of where we are today. I encourage you in this time to really live into what Jesus is telling us. Jesus offers us an abundant life. Jesus is saying, hey, I've got you and we've got this. We will make it through. We will be okay. I will help you see what okay looks like for you and for me and for all of us. I am a God who loves us, and I am a God who holds us. I am a God who creates a safe space where no enemy can climb over the walls and nothing can penetrate those gates. That's what God's love looks like and feels like. This day where we're not able to live what it feels like, we're not able to live our lives to the fullest, to remember that, gosh, every breath we take, no matter where we are or what's happening to us, we can live each and every breath to its fullest. May you find the zest of life. May you find God's abundance in everything you do this week. Amen.
Thank you.